the research work is all actually done by my father, Shri Kuppuswami Manyam ji, right? And I'm presenting on his behalf. So just to give you a context of this, right? So this is actually related to that part of Ramayana where after Ravana has abducted Sita, right, and took to Lanka, there were various people who did not know where actually Sita Mata is there, and then various teams were sent to search for Sita Mata across different parts of the country, right? In the initial findings, there was no success, and eventually in a team in which Lord Hanuman and Angad were there, they tried their best but could not find, but eventually they met Sampati, right, who is a brother of Jatayu, and Sampati told Lord Hanuman that Sampati has seen the Ravana taking Sita Mata towards Lanka, and that Sampati know that she is actually in Lanka. And this is the point where after getting orders from Prabhu Shri Ram, that Lord Hanuman decided to take a leap to Lanka, but now there was a question of from where he should take a leap, because Lord Hanuman, he make his size very huge, and he was searching for an appropriate place to take the leap, right? So in this presentation, we have tried to find out that particular mountain using the references from Valmiki Ramayana, Tulsi Ramayana, and Vishnu Puran, right? So in order to find it, we try to be based on fact as much as possible, and we have tried this searching on the basis of 4 different parameters. First, we'll try to find out what is the name of the mountain, to try to get the reference of the name of the mountain from where Lord Hanumanji took the leap. Then we see the mention of the distances of that mountain to the Lanka. And after that, we have tried to find out the direction, the references of the direction, and finally the location. So in this slide, you can see here we are trying to find out that name of the mountain which is mentioned, so that there is no doubt that what was the name of the mountain from where Lord Hanuman took the leap. So it is stated in the Kishkinda Kand Sarga 67 of Valmiki Ramayana, right? And here are the 2 shlokas. So the first one is Etanihi Nagasyasya Shila Sankata Shalinaha Shikharani Mahendrasya Sthirani Cha Mahanti Cha. So here Lord Hanuman is saying this Mount Mahendra is beaming forth with the boulders and altitudinal cliffs, and the crests of this mountain are indeed tough and even towering. So by this shlok, it is kind of evident that Lord Hanuman is inspecting the mountain, and he's kind of liking it, that probably this is the place where he should take the leap. And further down in the next shloka, it says, Yeshu Vegam Gamishyami Mahendra Shikhareshu Aham Nana Drum Vikirneshu Dhatu Nishpanda Shobishu. So here the Lord Hanuman is further stating about the same mountain. It says, diversely outspread are its trees, and diverse are its transuding oats. Thus this mountain is shining forth. Hence from the peaks of Mount Mahendra I will gain speed for my kickstart, right? So these are the 2 shlokas, right, from where we are concluding that the name of the mountain from which Lord Hanuman took the leap was Mahendra. Going further. So the conclusion from the previous slide is the name of the mountain is Mahendra. So जिस पर्वत से हनुमान जी ने छलांग लगाया था, उस पर्वत का नाम महेंद्र है, वो सिद्ध हो गया पहले वाले स्लाइड से. Now the reference of distance. So for the reference of distance, again we have found one mention of it in the Kishkinda Kand of Valmiki Ramayana, right, where there is a shlok which goes like this: Etani mama vegam hi shikharani mahanti cha Plavato dhari yashanti yojana nam ita shatam, right? Which basically means here Lord Hanuman is saying, on the verge of my upstart from here for a distance of 100 yojanas, these sturdy cracks are sure to withstand the impetus of that kickstart. So here there is a mention of the distance of how much distance the Lord Hanuman have to travel in order to reach Lanka, and the distance is actually 100 yojanas, right? And here it is also mentioned that the strength of this particular mountain is enough to withstand the pressure that will cause by the kickstart when he will start the jump. And the similar, we have one more references from Tulsi Ramayana. So this is in Kishkanda Kand of Doha number 29, first chopai, which says, Jona ghai satjojan sagar, karai suram kaj ati agar. So here, basically it says that जो 400 योजन समुद्र लांग सकेगा और बुद्धि निधान होगा, वही श्री राम जी का कार्य कर सकेगा. So using these two references, we can conclude that the distance of the mountain to the Lanka is 100 yojans. So far we have seen two things. One, that the name of the mountain was Mahendra. There is no doubt about that. And secondly, that the distance was 100 yojanas. Now, in order to prove this, so what we have seen is we have actually done the calculations of 100 yojanas to be able to convert. So if you see on the right side bottom, we have converted 100 yojanas. So according to the olden calculation, 1 yojan equal to 4 kos, right? And 1 kos is equal to 2 miles. So using that calculation, 100 yojanas is equal to 400 kos, and 400 kos comes to about 1280 kilometers. So basically, according to the Ramayana, the Hanuman had to travel 1280 kilometers. Now, using the Mahendra Giri, which is in Odisha, so there are 2 Mahendra Giri mountains in India, which I'll come to a little bit later. But using the Mahendra Giri hills, which is in Odisha near Palasa, right, we have measured the distance from Mahendra Giri to Lanka, and as you can see, the actual geographical distance, it comes very strikingly close to what is mentioned in Ramayana, which is like 1283 kilometers, right? So this is kind of one very conclusive evidence to say that the Mahendra Giri hill which is mentioned is the one which is in Odisha. But further to that, we try to find out more references to support that this is indeed the actual hill. So going forward, the next one is to find the references where the direction of Lanka is mentioned, right? So this slide is to see the direction. So here, as you can see, again going back to Valmiki Ramayana. So in Valmiki Ramayana, Sundarkand Sarga 1, right, it says that actually Hanuman traveled 100 yojan towards the south direction, and the sloka that have this is Anjali Prangmukham Krutva Pavanayatma Yonaye Tato hi Vruvide Gantu Dakshino Dakshinam Disham, right? So here it says that he has to travel to south. So Hanuman, endowed with great equanimity, facing the east and joining his palms by way of salutation to wind god, his father, he enlarged his size and turned south, right? So this is the point. And further, in the same sarga, we find another mention of it in this shloka, Khe yatha nipatat yulka drittarantad vinisruta drishyate sanubhandacha tatha sa kapi kunjaraha. So this is a mention where Hanumanji is actually, he is in flight, right? And the meaning is the elephant-like monkey was seen darting across the ocean, going from north to south, like the meteor risen in the north, along with its tail end falling down the sky. So we have taken these two shlokas as a reference to say that the Hanumanji had to travel towards the south direction. And finally, after getting the direction, I think these three were good enough hints to say that the Mahendra Giri hill that was used by Lord Hanuman was the one which we showed. But we found one more evidence, right, to see where the Mahendra Giri was. So far we have seen that there was some Mahendra Giri which was distance of 100 yojanas, right? So during some of the finding, we have found one more reference of Mahendra Giri in Vishnu Puran. This is from the Telugu book, the Telugu narration, right? So here, according to that, in part 2, chapter 3, it says that the rivers Rishikulya, Ishkuga, Tridivalya, Languli and Vamsadhara flow from Mahendra Giri, right? So it mentioned all these rivers. Now out of that, what we have found using the Google Maps, that two rivers out of this, Rishikulya and Vamsadhara, these are actually rivers which are flowing even today, and people know by this name, and we can go and see these rivers today. And here on the right side, you can see the Google Maps snapshot, the red arrow down, that is actually the Rishikulya river, right? And this river is about 75 kilometers from Mahendra Giri, which is in Odisha. So these are the 4 points which we have taken the parameters in order to find out which is the Mahendra Giri mountain. So this is just a summary slide. So here you can see the first we have seen that the mountain named Mahendra Giri was referenced in Valmiki Ramayana. Then we have seen that the distance of 100 yojanas, about 1280 kilometers, was referenced again in Valmiki and Tulsi Ramayana. Then there is a mention of south direction in Valmiki Ramayana. And from Vishnu Puran we found out that there was a river called Rishikulya in the Mahendra Giri mountains. Now in India, there are 2 main mountains named Mahendra Giri. One which is in Odisha and one in Tamil Nadu, which is slightly above Kanyakumari, right? So these are the 2 main Mahendra Giris. Now we have compared these 2 mountains on the basis of the references we have found. So both have the name as Mahendra Giri, so that parameter matches. But the second, distance of 100 yojanas from Lanka, this is only fulfilled by the one in Odisha, because the one in Tamil Nadu is much closer to that, so it is much less than 100 yojanas. Then again the Lanka in south direction from this mountain. Since Odisha is in the north, from Odisha to Lanka you have to travel to south. But from Tamil Nadu, in order to go to Lanka, you have to travel to east direction. So that is why this parameter is again fulfilled only by the Mahendra Giri mountain in Odisha. And finally the river Rishikulya, as we have seen, it is actually flowing around 75 kilometers from Mahendra Giri mountain in Odisha. So these are the points which indicates that basically it is the Mahendra Giri hill which is in Orissa, that is the one from where Lord Hanuman took the jump to Lanka, and not the one in Tamil Nadu, using these facts, right? So this is what we have tried to shown in this, and this page is to show the location of where this Mahendra Giri hill is. So as you can see, it is like between Visakhapatnam and Bhubaneswar. It is about 200 kilometers from Bhubaneswar and about 175 kilometers from Visakhapatnam. So using these references, we have concluded that the Mahendra Giri mountain, right, which is mentioned in Ramayana, is actually in Odisha. And further to that, just taking a couple of more minutes, the Mahendra Giri Parvat that we just talked about in Orissa, it has other importance as well, right? It is said that during Mahabharata period, Pandavas spent some time in Mahendra Giri. So right? And even today on the Mahendra Giri hill, we can find the temples for Yudhishthir, Bhim, Arjun, Nakul, Sahadev and Kunti, right? And out of these, Kunti and Yudhishthir temples are accessible by foot. Other temples are not even accessible by foot. The status of this mountain today is that there are no roads. Only some people who do the trekking can actually reach the Mahendra Giri, but otherwise there are no roads to really go there, right? And also in addition to that, Parashuram says spent 12 years on this mountain, Mahendra Giri. And every year in Shivratri, there's a big function organized and people collect here to celebrate. And there's a suggestion to actually develop this hill so that people get more aware of this place and more people visit this. Right? And finally, this is a slide which says how we can reach the Mahendra Giri, right? And again, as I said, there is no easy way to reach, and we have to do the trekking to go to Mahendra Giri. We can go from the nearest places is the Barkhat Pass, Raja Basa and Singupuram, but in almost all the cases we have to walk for a long distances, right, because there are no roads. We hope and we'll also follow up with the government of Orissa to request them to develop this place to make it accessible to people. So I think that's it from us. Thank you.
तालियों की और ज़्यादा गड़गड़ाहट आवश्यक है. What a nice evidence-based scientific presentation. Excellent presentation, sir. Thank you, sir. We thank Shri Shravan Kumar Manyam and Shri Kuppuswami ji from Guntur, Andhra Pradesh on Mahendra Giri. Now I request Acharya Bamrung Khamke, Bangkok co-chairperson, to speak on Ramayana.